Hello, YouTube. Welcome back. As you can see, I have a very bootleg setup today. I am currently in New Orleans. I've been here for the Pokemon North American International Challenge, where I got 34th out of 1,100 plus players, securing my Worlds invite. So in 2 months, I will be playing at Anaheim Worlds for the Pokemon World Championships. I made a little post about why I obviously have not been uploading the last few days, and that's just because I'm here in New Orleans. I'm at my Airbnb. I didn't even bring my camera, right? This is my integrated laptop camera, but we are here. I wanted to give you guys a slight meta update, especially because that's something I can do while I'm here, right? And I think that there was quite a few things. There wasn't any major tournaments, and this is because Ursi is also here at NAIC. We got to yap a bit. She's doing a lot of content creator stuff here. It's really cool to see a Pocket content creator get picked up by Pokemon. I can't do that because I'm playing, but she has all my support. So the first deck I really wanted to show you guys to get right into this is this list from Sedaru. If you don't recognize the name, this is the current rank 1. They have been using this list in Team Wars. If you're not familiar with what Team Wars is, it's like a private team-based pocket tournament that I'm also a part of, and they're like undefeated. They're 10-0 with this deck, and it's really freaking hard to be able to do that. And this is their list. It is most importantly, let me see if I can big mode this. I can't see anything, so if it's not big mode, that's my fault because I'm only using one monitor. But the most important thing is people are always like 2 Kartana versus 2 Pheromosa. Sedaru said, nah, yams that. I want more supporters. So they're going to actually drop the Pheromosa Kartana line to a 1-1, so you have the options of both. But recognizing that the most important thing is that Buzzwole needs to be set up, so you need 2 Buzzwole, 2 Celesteela, and then you get to add all the techs, notably dropping the tools. You know, they've been talking about Rocky Helmet, 1 Leaf Cape, that's all he has. You use it when you need it, and in place of the second Leaf Cape where it would be is 2 Erica. The other thing is like the Sabrina versus Cyrus debate. Even with 1 Pheromosa, only using double Cyrus, and that gives you the most control, as well as double hand rip. It's very important to have double hand rip when there's a meta where Charizard is viable, when there's a meta where, you know, Solgaleo is also viable. So red card, Mars putting in double time, and the main tech card being Guzma. There's a lot of decks running tools. Guzma says, no, not today. And of course, a double Lozamine. I think it's funny that this guy has the only full art trainers he has is the double Lozamine, because you know when you're pulling out the double Lozamine, it's a GG's. But it's also important to know why Japanese players do this sometimes is for animations. The full art cards have a longer animation time, so it's sometimes optimal to not have animations. Anyway, we get to some completed tournaments. One of the biggest ones that just finished was that Magma Cup. Remember I talked to you guys about Nihilego Guzlord being really freaking good, and it won the tournament, right? Shout out to Kura 2222222 for winning. And I think that their list is a pretty standard list, except I told you about the flexibility of this deck, right? This guy's running 2 PCL, so double healing. And a Beastite, so it's really cool. Lots of generally standard cards, but again, this deck list is really strong. It's trending. I think that it is one of the better decks that you can use on ladder. Granted, its Buzzwole matchup is playable. It's sometimes not the one that you want to play into all the time, but it's so good into so many of the other decks, especially your Charizard decks. You know, you can play pretty well into Darkrai, and as you see, he played a very variety of matchups and like did really freaking good. So really shout out to Kura, shout out for him winning. And again, if you are interested in learning another deck that has like a lot of decision paths that you have to make while not being Darkrai Tina or not being Buzzwole, Guzlord is perfect. Coming up, we have another deck that's actually getting extremely popular in Japan. It was extremely popular. It was one of the last decks I played after hitting top 100 on my last stream, and it is Shiinotic Magnezone. I think that this deck is kind of goofy. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's very goofy, but apparently it has a lot of strong matchups, especially into Ultra Beast Grass, and any deck that has Oricorio in it, you know, is gonna be like kind of cheesy. Has the Giant's Cape, has the Ori, and then like just the general supporting cards. Does have a Lice, a healing item, but the real thing is that you're using the Shiinotic engine to draw through. I think one of the Magnezone's biggest problems, inconsistency. And I'm not saying that this deck is more consistent than your average, but it's just slightly more the Shiinotic engine being able to draw through most of your cards as you find that Magnemite line. This deck will still brick. There's nothing you can really do about it. You can probably run an Iono or Pcom, but space is tight as you do want that Giant's Cape, and sometimes you do want some healing because it feels good to have healing, especially when you're playing a solo choreo. And a lot of people can get through a solo choreo, but the moment you put like a PCL or Giant's Cape, they're like, all right, I'm folding, GG's. So again, shout out to K second. I think that they finished top 4, losing to Dark Retina, which, you know, that happens, but as you can see, they had a bunch of freaking Charizards, and they all got cooked. Probably got solo choreoed out their goddamn mind. And I think the final deck I wanted to talk about was this top 16 deck, Boosted Avian. Shout out to Elemental Heroes, using a really cool Arceus Silvally Dialga deck. I saw another Japanese streamer playing something like this, and they're having such a fun time. So it's cool to see that someone picked it up. This deck running double Ilima, so that you can, like, even if you start Arceus, your bad starts are not as bad. Also Leaf. And the way that I kind of figure out how this deck works is, obviously if you start Dialga, you can turbo up like a Silvally and an Arceus. But if you start like Silvally, you just play the going second attack. Ilima denies prizing, so you can actually put like something in the front to tank attacks as you charge up like your big Arceus. You know, you charge up your Dialga, Ilima, the type Null or the Arceus, and immediately you're attacking. This deck has a lot of cool decision makings, and those double Giant's Cape just to put you at a really nice and healthy threshold. So I think it's really cool. You know, like, this is a deck that like kind of dominated Triumphant Light and could warp the meta, and then a set later it was freaking dead. And to see that someone like brought it back, of course with Silvally, because, you know, every freaking deck has Silvally in this meta, but still really, really cool. And finally, the last tournament, it's currently ongoing. It was the Froggy X Weekly Cup. These tournaments usually have a lot of extremely strong players. And the decks I wanted to highlight, and you wouldn't be able to see it, is the deck that got second. So the deck that got second, well, not obviously they're still playing, they're gonna play Top Cut soon, but the deck that went undefeated in Swiss is this deck, which immediately as soon as you open it, you're gonna get blasted. It's a double Buzzwole, double Steela, one Pheromosa, double Beast Wall deck. So if you don't know, Beast Wall says you can use this card only if your opponent hasn't gotten any points, and during your opponent's next turn, all of your Ultra Beasts take minus 20 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. That is huge, right? But obviously it has an obvious downside. So what this deck does, and also I should mention, it stacks. So if you stack 2 Beast Wall together, your Buzzwole can survive a Charizard attack, right? So 170 does one, ends up doing 130. Also with Leaf Cape plus the Beast Wall, you're able to live attacks that you should not be living. And what this deck essentially is doing is you're charging up mainly a Buzzwole, you're protecting it with Beast Walls, and then it's flipping matchups that you should not have a chance in. For example, if the Charizard gets set up turn 1 and you're going second, right, you get the first energy attach, you get the second energy attach, you Beast Wall Leaf Cape, you live that attack, then you're able to big beat, the Charizard KOs you, you bring in another Buzzwole, and you're able to lose a mean big beat again, right? So this is a Buzzwole deck that aims to flip matchups, and it actually came from a Japanese player, CC Ryoxy, who was using this list, and like I was paying attention to it and was like kind of considering it right here. Like, see, they actually put the image of them living the Charizard, and then he was very happy because someone took the list and ended up getting second. So really cool to see, really cool to see. And the final list I have for you guys today is this Charizard Stoutland deck. I will say I think Stoutland is pretty much a troll deck. Not fully. It's good in its matchups, but I will tell you the matchups where it is good in. Essentially, Stoutland is really good with Pokemon that can energy cheat. So usually it's going to be Charizard, it's going to be Rampardos, it's going to be Gallade, who's like, or cards that like force energy up. So like Gallade, Giratina kind of can energy cheat, but like Tapu Lele, right? Like Raichu, Alola. Sorry, my friend just walked in and I was just like, oh no, I'm recording. Please don't. This is the last deck I wanted to talk about. And Charizard is one of those cards that can energy cheat. So like, one of the issues with Stoutland, besides being a stage 2, is that you have to attach 2 energy to get your first attack off. But when you're using a list like this, where Charizard only needs 1 energy to get its major attack off, this deck becomes really, really cool. Mostly focused on healing and just going face with Stoutland. If you set Charizard, you just set up Charizard. So it's really cool to see this deck do as strong as it has done. And it is another deck that's going to be in that top cut of this tournament. So I'm very excited to see how it does. And of course, if you're into Stoutland decks, you have another way to play it. And that's really all I got for you guys today. Like I said, I'm in New Orleans. I'm not going to be back until Monday night, so I'll be streaming Tuesday morning over here. I'm also partnered and got my name changed on Twitch. I'm Jeudy just on Twitch, so that'll be twitch.tv/Jeudy. Other than that, tell me what decks that you guys have been using, and let's like have a conversation in the comments. I always read them. I'm always a yapper, so let me know. But without that, this has been me. I don't even know how this camera looks because I've been like I've been on like one tab, but still, I guess you guys got like a chest cam and like a blurry cam. But no, I'm happy. I'm gonna continue enjoying New Orleans. I'm gonna get more crawfish. It's freaking amazing here. But without further ado, this is the Yap session. I'll be back soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye.